Hey everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. This is Wave 3 News meteorologist Brian Good, filling in for Kevin here for the next couple of weeks while he enjoys the holiday time off. As always, going to talk about the rain tonight. We'll talk about the weekend setup, and I'll briefly talk about Christmas and see how things are looking at that point. Again, no one is forecasting a snowstorm this weekend. It's funny how I've seen some interesting comments where apparently I have said that, but I have not said that. So to be clear, this is all potential system here, and my job on this video blog, as it is every time, is to fully explain what I'm looking at and give my opinion on it, and then of course the official forecast is what you see on TV. But this is a behind-the-scenes look of how we come to our ideas that we have on TV and on the graphics. So, having said that, let's get right to it, because once again I got limited time and the video cut me off last night. So you know you're in bad shape when the video blogs shut you down. Alright, 3.7 is our total for the season. 1.2 is where we should be for this time of the year. And last year, yep, certainly had a schedule. On the board, I haven't changed much. Only thing I took out was really Wednesday night and early Thursday. That looks so minor that I just don't even see it being even worth a half a Twix bar. So I took it off the board entirely. So keeping it at 2, Friday night and Saturday. And Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, especially Christmas Day. Alright, now I'm going to keep it at a 1. Using caution. Alright, on the radar here tonight, I do want to mention these showers that came through earlier this evening. We've got a break now. And we're going to see a slight drop in temperature, but there's a warm front that is passing through the area as I am taping this. And look what's happening. Some thunderstorms developing on the south side of that warm front. See the lightning strike showing up in Carbondale, Illinois. So I'll keep an eye on these. And at 11 o'clock tonight, I'll see how that trends, but I may add in some thunder chances into areas north and east here into Kentucky if that trends hold. Nothing severe, but maybe some lightning and thunder later on tonight. This is the same low pressure that came through California. It's going to bring in some colder air behind it as we head into the day tomorrow, and that'll send some temperatures falling in the afternoon with some areas of clouds and drizzle. But tonight, we're on the warm side of it, so we get to enjoy warm weather, relatively speaking, mind you, all night long tonight until that wind shifts around northwest. But this is the low that is going to track into the northeast to kind of curl into Canada, and it's going to be a key player as far as how it behaves once it gets in this area. If it moves out too quickly, it opens the floodgates for a disappointing forecast for snow lovers. Alright, here's the latest here. When it comes to Futurecast tonight, you see the showers. Temperatures actually rise into the lower 50s. The showers will begin to ease off in the afternoon, but chilly weather because, again, northwest winds will kick in, so we'll see temperatures fall into the upper 20s, lower 30s. Wouldn't run a flurry in East Kentucky, but I don't see that happening here in town. We dry out fast out of the system, and then right around 40 it looks like, with some sunshine on Wednesday. Now, after that rain moves out, there is another system that moves in as we head into Wednesday night and Thursday. As I mentioned, it looks minor. As it approaches, it looks impressive, right? You see a band of snow and mixed precip coming our way early Thursday morning, but look what happens. It just boop, falls apart altogether. That's why, again, I'm not impressed. All right, so let's get into Friday and Saturday. As I mentioned a second ago, that low pressure that's now in Iowa and Illinois is going to track here and head into Canada. As it leaves us, we have the warning shot Wednesday night, early Thursday snow band. That's not anything significant, but there will be a piece of energy. The main piece will begin to move out into Texas and Oklahoma. Here's the question. We have two things happening to the north. We have the low pressure that's coming through now that's going to hang out in Maine, or is it? Or is it going to move out of the way? At the same time, we have high pressure behind the banner here that is moving in from the north. That is your main cold air supplier. These two will work together to bring cold air into the Ohio Valley. That will influence this low pressure as it moves out. If the pressure is on the low, it will begin to tighten up and become a deep low as it tracks across the southeast, and maybe even become a nor'easter as it curves up the eastern seaboard. If we lose this northeast feature, all we have really is the high coming down, and that will more than likely just allow this sky to keep chucking off to the east and really not be that big of a deal. So that seems to be the setup we're facing. Keep in mind the system is out in the ocean. I know a lot of you are wanting to know. We don't like to get in a lot of detail this far out, but it is within our 7 days, so we got to address it. So here we go. Low moves into, looks like Alabama, early Saturday. There's your cold air to the north. Now, a weaker low scenario would only barely pull the cold air down, so you get more of a mix, if not all rain scenario. Very weak system with just marginal cold air. We don't have true Arctic air for this system to work with, so everything is borderline with a weak low. That's not good if you want a big snow. Now, A stronger low, especially as it gets stronger once it crosses Alabama into Georgia, if it intensifies right in through this zone here, it can be weak here, that's fine. We don't want it too strong to our west. Because if the low pressure deepens too fast here, I can tell you what's going to happen. It's going to pump in that warm air right into Kentucky, and it's going to be all rain ending in snow. If the low intensifies at this point, Alabama into Georgia, you're going to get probably not even rain to start. It'll probably just start off as snow, and you get a decent band of snow. If the low stays weak and does not blow up until this point, here off the Carolina coast in the northeast, well, it passes by and we pretty much just get skimmed with nothing, and the northeast gets all the fun. So how it intensifies, how quickly it deepens, that is all the question marks we got to figure out, because a stronger low would, a deepening low as it passes Alabama and Georgia, would allow us to see a wintry setup. So let me show you the models here. Here's the 4-panel to explain it all. Here is the GFS, here is the Euro. And I apologize, the video is a little slower than my words, by the way, so keep that in mind as I'm drawing these. Here's the Canadian. These are the ensembles of each here at the bottom. This is the amount of cold air is what you're basically looking at. When we look at the operational models, the ones that everybody posts online, you can see this is Saturday morning. You see the cold air, rain snow line north of Louisville. The European has it cold enough for all snow, and the Canadian pretty much has it all snow. What's interesting, though, is when you look at the ensembles, all right, this is putting more data into the idea. You can see a much more tighter gradient, which would indicate a stronger low would likely try to develop. Same thing here on the Euro ensembles. You see that it's trying to develop perhaps a stronger low pressure than what is indicated here on the actual operational, and the same thing for the Canadian. So the ensembles are slightly, not dramatic, but slightly stronger with this low as it passes through. But that is going to be the key factor. You know, is it going to stay weak, or is it going to get stronger just to our south? That's pretty much all that shows. All right, so the GFS experimental model, it was not included in that, but I do want to show you that. Here it is, late Friday night. This is very early, in fact, near sunrise, Saturday. It begins to bring in a chance for some mixed precip into southern counties here, and as we hit throughout the day on Saturday, it brings the rain snow line all the way up to the river. But notice the pressure here is about 1014 is the deepest it takes it once it passes us, and it deepens it even further, way below 1,000 millibars once it heads east of Georgia. So 1014 is not impressive. It's a mediocre low, in fact, passing through. So therefore, accumulating snow, if we got this scenario to line up, accumulating snow would be very light. If I had to throw out a number, I would guess it's going to be, you know, low-end advisory level, like an inch or two. Nothing spectacular, but that's what you would get with a 1014 low. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. So we'll keep an eye on the trends, and I don't want to talk about amounts more than what I've already done until we gauge how the low will behave on intensification. All right, now put that aside. Looking down the road, the Arctic Oscillation, with the ability to have the polar vortex, if you will, on the move to allow the cold air to really get lodged loose and have somewhere to go, is key, and it's trending way negative. And again, as I mentioned, last time it was that negative was in mid-November. And the NAL, it's been positive for a while now. That's why we've really had just progressive systems, clouds, and rain, really. It is now trending negative, which would allow more blocking, deeper storms, slow-moving storms, and something to watch. And the last time we had that was really, we had a period of that in October, then again in November. But when you get these two to line up, when you get a negative NAO and an AL being on the negative side, you've really got to start watching for some interesting winter storms that could take place in the area. All right, now let me jump ahead to, this is going to be the European model for Christmas Day morning. There is a sign of a brief warm-up Christmas Eve with rain, and then just blast us with cold air and light snow showers Christmas Day. Here's the Canadian, completely opposite idea. To an extent, it's just so much slower with the idea. This is Christmas morning. It's got the idea of warm air being surged into Ohio Valley, and you can see where the cold air would be coming later on, but we would miss Christmas if that scenario pans out. Either way, strong support here for what we call a cross-polar flow. It is going to get cold later in the month and the beginning of January based on these trends. So here's your latest update for Christmas. I haven't changed this. I still think there's a high likelihood of a rain to snow scenario. I just got to figure out if it's going to be Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or the day after. That part I just don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I'm sorry. And but I do think it's going to be a cold scenario. So we'll worry about Christmas later. But a lot of you have been asking, so I at least want to give you a glimpse at what the data we're looking at. But how this system affects us this weekend really will have a big impact on the one Christmas. So until we nail this one down, we really can't really take a stab at the next one. It's kind of pointless. So, all right, that's how it stands now. No snowstorms yet. In fact, at this point, if we had to go with everything we've got right now and throw out a forecast, it would be a relatively light snow event or rain. So at this point, nothing spectacular. But we're only at the very beginning of this mess. It's going to be until Wednesday night, if not very early Thursday morning, before we really have a chance to sample the system and get some good data. So stay tuned.